Hi, welcome to the Introduction to DFARS and NIST 800-171 Compliance 101. You've probably heard that the Department of Defense has certain requirements for their contractors and suppliers. The deadline for compliance was almost 2 years ago. If you're not compliant, you need to get there fast. So here are some things that we're going to cover. Where do you start? I know it can be confusing and frustrating. Don't worry, you're not alone. What do we need to know to get started? What are the risks? Where do most companies struggle during their journey? Where do you get your help when you need it? Trust me, you're going to need it. Also, how do we make this easier, faster, and cost-effective? By the way, I'm Amy, the Quality Manager at Acme Manufacturing. We make defense and commercial products as a supplier for defense prime contractors. Our path to compliance started one day when I got a call from my boss. He said, "Amy, listen, we received a letter telling us the Department of Defense says we have to be compliant with some new cybersecurity controls in the NIST Special Publication 800-171. It has to do with the technical data we use to make our products for the military. Oh, and we are 2 years past the deadline, so we could lose our contract. Find Bob in IT and get this sorted out fast." Blah, 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 blah. After that, I wasn't really listening. I was thinking, wait, what? Special what? NIST 800-171 who? I'm the quality manager. Siri, call Bob in IT, please. So, Bob and I met to discuss this DFARS and NIST compliance thing. He was almost as confused as I was. He had been working on it for a while, but hadn't made much progress. Bob told me, NIST 800-171 is really hard to understand. He thought we were about halfway there, but those were the easy things. He kept saying lots of changes are needed, and was worried because most of those changes were out of his control. He said he's going to need help. He's short-staffed and I can't do everything that's needed. That means a bigger budget, but he had no idea how much. Then he asked a really good question. What in the world is controlled unclassified information? We just looked at each other and blinked for a while. It was an awkward silence. Okay, well, time for this girl to do some research. As I started to look around, I found lots of stuff out there to read. Bits and pieces of information were here, there, and everywhere across DoD sites. Did I find everything? At the time, I wasn't sure. I found some good articles, but also found important discrepancies. Who was right? I had no idea. But here's what my research said. The U.S. government requires defense contractors and their suppliers to safeguard controlled unclassified information. The compliance requirements follow the CUI data in any form, whether in a printed document or digitally. CUI is sensitive information required by law to be controlled, restricted, and protected. Defense contractors are responsible for their suppliers' compliance because, this part's important, the requirements follow the CUI data wherever it goes, inside our company and outside our company. There are two major categories of CUI that impact most defense contractors and suppliers: controlled technical information and export controlled information. Lots of people are familiar with ITAR. Some companies already handle ITAR data in parts. We did. Later I found out we weren't really doing ITAR compliance right at all. CUI requirements impact export control information and the DoD's controlled technical information. Last, NIST Special Publication 800-171 focuses on IT network, devices, policies, and cybersecurity controls. Well, that's Bob's area. For me, the NIST manual wasn't very helpful at all at guiding our business processes. So now I had to figure out what exactly was the technical information that was included within CUI as controlled technical information and export controlled information. What is technical information? The definition says technical information includes research and engineering data, engineering drawings and associated lists, specifications, standards, process sheets, manuals, technical reports, technical orders, catalog item identifications, data sets, studies and analyses, and related information, computer software executable code and source code. Wow. I started thinking about our defense contracts and military products and how much data and documents that really is. But more importantly, I asked myself, where is that data? And how do we properly mark and label documents so our employees can safeguard them? So now we started to look at the types of CUI and where CUI was as part of our business processes. Our customers provide most of our CUI in technical drawings, but our processing specification standards for our products is also CUI we create. We have to share that data across multiple sites in our company, and we use several suppliers for certain components. So, since their work requires that we share CUI with them, now we are responsible for making sure they are compliant. From our sales guys to planning, from engineers to our operations, CUI travels a lot more places than I realized across our company. Getting compliant means we are giving our customers peace of mind that we are not going to get them into trouble, and that is valuable to them. Our employees don't want to get our company into trouble, so training keeps them from putting us at risk. Our employees know what to do, and that helps us see our blind spots. Relationships matter in our industry. Customers are important, and our employees make it happen. So, we have to know what we are doing. At that time, we didn't, and needed help. CUI data was spread across almost every computer and workstation. That had to change. We had to start rethinking where we kept our records, who had access to them, and how to restrict, control, and secure those documents in whatever form, physical documents or digitally on our network. Also in my research, I found out that CUI must be properly marked. Most of the documents we received had some markings, but they were the old markings we don't use anymore. We had to train our employees to properly identify unmarked CUI documents and then mark them correctly. So, where did we get all the stickers and stuff? I found a company called CUIsupply.com. They had just about everything you would need to keep your company safe, make sure your employees are aware of the risks, and can easily identify documents for control and safeguarding. We also marked computers and workstations that process CUI so we knew which stations and devices were authorized to access CUI. We also needed to identify which employees were authorized to view and handle CUI. Quick and easy, we put these stickers everywhere. Now we tell employees whether they are restricted or authorized to enter purple areas and have access to purple machines. Colors keep it super simple. Now that Bob and I started to realize how much needs to be done to become compliant, I started thinking about two things: budget and all the areas of risk. Uncertainty. Do we really understand what we need to do? Well, sort of, but that's not good enough. We need experience and expertise. Relationships. Nothing is more important than our customers, their data, and government's data. In order to keep the relationship, we have to keep the contract. To keep the contract, we have to get compliant. Enforcement. We need resources and a bigger budget to make this happen. So my boss is going to ask, doesn't anyone even care about DFARS compliance? Once I started digging in the news, headline after headline showed me this was serious. The Federal False Claims Act, DoD increasing the requirements, our prime contractor contacting us again to verify our compliance, and beginning next summer, the DoD requiring a third party to validate our compliance under their new program. What happens if they realize we aren't compliant? Uh-oh. Growth. When I realized the military are tightening their enforcement, I realized we have to get busy. Where's that help button? So now that you have heard our story, start right now. Remember, know the requirements. If you or your Bob are confused, ask. you can reach out to the guys at cmmcdpo.com. Those guys are experts. Find, label, and restrict your CUI data. Supplies are easy to get at cuisupply.com. Document. Did I say document? The entire process. Spreadsheets are terrible. Using documentation software from NISTsmart.com that was specifically designed for CUI and NIST requirements saved us a ton of time, change control confusion, and allowed us to manage multiple locations easy by accessing it online, anywhere. Also, it is loaded with video tutorials and templates that are critical to doing it right the first time. We did the NIST Smart Complete Bundle with added expert guidance at every step of the process, and they made it affordable. You're going to have to make some tough decisions on IT purchases. Be very careful on buying more stuff rather than buying integrated solutions that are compliant. You may need to outsource certain things or everything through managed services. Most IT support companies are not compliant, so make sure you get advice you can trust. Always ask for help. Last, experience and expertise matter to save you time and money so you can get compliant, have peace of mind, and get back to business. Help is on the way.